Speaker.
Honourable Meta Ruranui.
A gātira tēnā tātou katoa. A kei ngā maunga rangatira. Koutou rā, kua takihea mai rā, te huarahi ki tai mai rā koutou ki roto I te whare nei. Ki tutuki pai ai ngā huatanga e pāne ki o koutou kleme, me ngā momoe o rātou ko ngarua kanohi atu. Ko tērā, ko tai wairua mai rātou ki wainganui a koutou, ai ata whakarongo ki ngā tau tohe kai roto I te whare I te rangi nei. Nō reira, kore tai tēnei ki te whakahua, ko wai, kua tai mai kei mahu aku etahi ki waho. Nō reira, kai ngā rangatira, ngā maunga rangatira, ngā wai ko rere mai, ko waipuke hea, te whare nei, tēnā koutou, haramai. Mr. Speaker, can I acknowledge the presence in the House today of the representatives of Ngati Maniapoto, Ngati Porou, and Ngati Pahauwera, who have come great distance, not just today, but over a number of years, to see this important occasion happen in the House today. And I certainly want to acknowledge their presence. I also want to congratulate the Minister for grouping these bills and bringing them to the House all at the one time. First time this initiative has been tried in this House, although there were many, and none on this side, who were sceptical about that approach. I think their concerns can be allayed here today. And certainly do congratulate him for that. If I have any criticism, it's not on what he's achieved today, but the slow progress that he's made in other claims currently before the Crown. And I think the gentleman across the House knows exactly what I'm talking about and which particular claim I'm talking about. But certainly want to congratulate the Minister for the initiative. Mr. Speaker, I think I'm one of those in the House who can say I got up close and friendly with the claimants' negotiators over a period of about 6 years in my time as Associate Minister of Treaty Negotiations, and heard all the issues. I've heard of all the issues, and in particular, I want to touch on Ngati Maniapoto. You see, Mr. Speaker, the previous speakers have touched on a range of issues of all three bills, but for me, there's a particular part of the Ngati Maniapoto Waipa River Bill that touches a soft spot, and it's to do with the main provisions, or should I say, the co-governance framework. And I noted that the former Speaker, the ACT member, who claims to be a champion on Māori issues, has an issue with Māori being involved in co-governance arrangements. Well, the world has changed, Mr. Boscawen. You better get used to it, because from here on, Māori will be wanting co-governance arrangements over all their lands, over all their estates, all over their reserves, and particularly over their waterways, be they rivers, the tributaries, or the takutaimona around the coastline. So this is the way the government is going. It's following the progress that the previous government had made, and I want to congratulate that side of the House for that. But in particular, you see, Mr. Speaker, co-governance arrangements reflect Māori ownership interests in particular areas. And in this case, for Ngati Maniapoto, it reflects not only their ownership interests, but their kaitiakitanga responsibilities over the Waipa River. And as one of the previous speakers mentioned, my colleague, the Honourable Nanaia Mahuta, this is a continuation of the Waikato Tainui settlement of the Waikato River. And during our negotiations, during our discussions with Maniapoto and with Waikato Tainui, there was this issue around water quality or the health of the Waikato River. And it was the view of me at that time that the Waipa River was a major contributor to the pollution of the Waikato River. Now, I didn't get involved in that debate, but certainly the science indicated that certainly was the case. And some of the practices by users along the river contributed to that pollution. But I'm happy that looking through these co-governance arrangements and what they actually mean, that these problems over time may be alleviated, if not completely eradicated. And so, Mr. Speaker, I'm involved in a particular area where co-governance is a big issue over certain waterways, in particular the Taurangamona. And the reason why I was so interested in these arrangements is that they're probably the same sort of arrangements as other areas we're looking towards securing through the settlements process. Now, the framework in particular for the Waipa River provides recognition of the specific and enduring relationship of Maniapoto with the Waipa River. That's an important issue. The development objectives for the Waipa River and by Maniapoto. Now, I realise that the ACT members are totally opposed to that. Elected members only should be involved in these types of arrangements, while the Maniapoto representatives will be elected members, elected by Maniapoto. And so I'm sure he should have no concerns about that, or obviously he does. It also provides legislative recognition of the vision and strategy extending over the whole of the Waipa River, including the ability to amend the vision and strategy to achieve the overarching purpose of the deed insofar as the vision and strategy relates to the upper Waipa River. And that is an all-encompassing objective, Mr. Speaker, that I'm sure that the Ngati Maniapoto, along with other river users, will be able to find solutions as a result of their discussions. And also granting functions and powers to the Waikato River Authority through legislation in respect of the upper Waipa River, and clean-up arrangements for the upper Waipa River from its source at Pekepeke Springs to its junction at the Pinui River. Mr. Speaker, this is a wide-ranging arrangement that Ngati Maniapoto have with the Crown, and those co-management arrangements that at the next level down certainly will give all the hapu who have kaitiaki responsibilities over certain parts of the Waikato River the opportunity to ensure that the life force or the mauri of the river is not only restored but maintained for eternity for future generations to enjoy the benefits of. As my colleague, the Honourable Parikura Horemia mentioned, the kai in the river, or the aquatic life is not of the best quality that we've known in previous years throughout the Waikato River and its tributaries. But certainly the clean-up program that's been agreed to in this case for the Waipa will improve the quality and standard of aquatic life, and also encourage more use of the resource by future generations. And so I want to congratulate the representatives of Ngati Maniapoto who have come here today to basically observe the first reading of their settlement legislation, and also note that this in no way affects the historical treaty claims of Ngati Maniapoto. And I'm sure that the Minister already has made inroads into ensuring that those discussions follow close behind the settlement legislation. And once again remind them that there are other waterways in close vicinity of the Waikato River and the Waipa that he needs to look seriously at in terms of co-governance arrangements. So, Mr. Speaker, on to Ngati Porou, and my colleague, the Honourable Parikura here, Parikura Horemia, touched on every possible aspect of the settlement legislation of Ngati Porou that he could possibly do. I just want to make an observation and make a comment that, as having been involved in these negotiations, can I say that this is the most brilliant piece of negotiating I've ever seen. You had to be in the room to actually appreciate it. Something that started from nothing and ended up to be greater than everything, and all in a few hours by one particular person, needs to be mentioned. And that all the cynicism around Ngati Porou and the actual extent of their losses faded into insignificance as the negotiations proceeded. And I've got to say that, although he's already complimented himself, that the former Minister of Māori Affairs played a magnificent role in achieving that outcome. And, Mr. Speaker, by the time this legislation passes through the House, the actual quantum figure, the interest on the quantum agreed to by the Crown and Ngati Porou would have increased by 12 million. Now, how's that for negotiating? How's that for negotiating? That's brilliant, and I congratulate the Minister on that particular, the part that he played in the negotiations and bringing the House today. The particular person I was referring to, I don't see him in the House today, but that's okay. We'll get around to it at some stage and congratulate him. I read in the last of the Ngati Pahauwera negotiations, Mr. Chair. I know we have very little time left, but I read through the historical account of Ngati Pahauwera, and I have to say that I've read many historical accounts. This is probably one of the most devastating I have read. The detail is it's unbelievable, but when you see people rise from out of the ashes to achieve this, you've got to say congratulations to you all. Tēnā koutou, ka nui ngā mihi, kia ora tātou.
Speaker.
Honourable Tauhina.